Today I am going to be doing my update for my spending, what I spent this past month, as well as making a new budget for this coming month. As always, this is the notebook that I'm using, and we are just going to flip to the page that we need to be at, which is March. So last month we went ahead and did the budget for March. So now we're gonna go through and see what I spent. I don't go through all of my expenses like my mortgage, insurance, internet, other kinds of bills, house stuff, but I did want to mention that it did affect my spending and budget a little bit here because a lot of those went up and I didn't know that they were going to go up even more. The ones that are normally the same every month went up, as well as the ones that change every month. Those went higher than we would have expected them to be as well. So I do have a lot of negative numbers on my personal Excel sheet that I use to keep track of everything. But in these videos, I'm just kind of sharing with you the categories that I have listed here. And I feel like I also went a little bit over budget on these a little bit as well, but we're gonna go through this and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about as far as these categories go. So not my best month. Hopefully next month we can do better, and I'll know going forward that I have to budget more for my bills and normal expenses that I have to pay every month. All right, I'm gonna zoom you in and we are going to start with our irregular expenses. Up top, we have two categories here. So for gas, I had budgeted $60 this month, and I actually did spend over that. So I ended up spending a total of $75.04, and that means that I did go over budget, and we are negative $15.04. This was only a total of 2 trips to the gas station to fill up. So gas has gotten more expensive. So that's unfortunate because I'm not sure if this is going to be a continuous thing where prices are either going to continue to go up for gas or they're going to stay where they're at. I don't know if they're going to go down or not. So that was a little bit disappointing to see that I did go over that budget. But again, that's something that is out of my control. I only filled up gas twice. We are going to subtract the difference, the $15.04, from our current total, which is the savings that I have accumulated so that I can purchase a parking pass for my job. Our new total is going to be $423.57. Yes, my handwriting is not the greatest because I'm writing at a very odd angle here. Groceries, and I had set a budget of $200. I really didn't want to go over a budget of $200. I just feel like I really want to try hard to stick within that budget. And I know a lot of prices have gone up for groceries as well. But luckily I was able to stay within budget this past month. So I ended up spending $180.65, which means I was under budget by $19.35. This was actually 5 trips worth going to the grocery store, picking up food, things like that. Normally it's only four trips to the grocery store, but I think we made a couple of smaller trips this time around. And I did travel this past month, so I wasn't around for some of our shopping days. We are now going to add up the difference in the current total to get our new total, which is $254.14. Now we're going to move down into our spending category. Here I have entertainment, which I had set aside $10 for, and I didn't really do anything. We didn't really go out and do anything entertainment-wise, so no money spent there, so I'm going to move that $10 over, and we are going to add that up to our total that we had previously. So our new total is $130. For clothing, I budgeted $50. I really need some new clothing. This past month in March, I didn't end up going shopping for clothing or purchasing any clothing. So we are just going to move over that $50 and add that to what our current total was. So our new total now is going to be $780.98. For beauty, there was the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale going on in March, so I definitely took advantage of this. Unfortunately, and maybe fortunately for my bank account, is that a lot of things that I had wanted to purchase during this Ulta sale were actually sold out by the time that I got home from work and I went to purchase the product. So yeah, unfortunate because I wanted some of these products for a really good price, but fortunately I didn't end up spending as much as I thought I was going to spend during the sale. So I ended up spending a total of $65.25, which was a total of 4 separate purchases from Ulta online. I'm negative $15.25. I had extra cushion to make up for that. So our new total that we have set aside for beauty purchases is going to be $62.80. For decor and furniture, actually, I didn't spend any money in either of those categories. I'm still waiting on our couch that we ordered. The date keeps getting pushed back. Like every month it gets pushed back like another month. So now I'm expecting to get the couch and start payments on it in June. We're just going to move over these amounts. So $50 for decor, add that up. So our new decor amount that I have set aside is $348.10. And then for the furniture, we are going to move that $100 over, which is fine because that means that I'm building up enough money to hopefully pay off a majority of it and then have really small payments afterwards. So I'm not really mad about it, and we have a couch, so it's fine. But our total now for furniture that we have saved up is $1,636.82. Eating out, I had budgeted $60. And I did go a little bit over budget. I ended up spending $65.78, which means that I am negative, but I'm only negative $5.78. So not too bad. Although this was just 2 times of eating out. Ended up totaling this amount, which isn't the greatest. We are going to subtract this from what we had accumulated previously. So now we have a total of $179.30 for the eating out category. For gifts, I did go to a wedding this past month, and I did spend $100 for a gift. I also thought I was going to be spending a little bit of money on other gifts this past month, but it didn't end up happening. So I'm thinking it'll happen at some point, maybe next month. So that means that we're actually have no difference there and no difference here either. So we are still at $150. YouTube, I did end up spending a little bit of money here. So I spent a total of $19.07, and I believe this was for my scale that I purchased for my Project Pan videos that I'm doing. And the scale has been nice because I can track the progress with products that I can't see visual progress with. That's why I wanted to put this YouTube category into my budget, was for things like that I normally would feel like I shouldn't spend money on. But yeah, so anyway, that means that I have a leftover of $30.93 from the budget that I had set, which means now I have a total of $130.93. Moving down into the sinking funds category, we have 3 little subcategories here. We have car maintenance, which I actually did have some car maintenance, but it didn't come out of my bank account in the month of March, but it will come out in the month of April. So you'll see that next month in that update. But for now, we are just going to put a line for that one. Same with home fixes. We didn't do any home fixes in the month of March, so no money was spent there. So we are just going to move over both of those $100 for each of those groups and then add them up. So for car maintenance, my new total is $565.08. And for home fixes, we now have accumulated $1,650. Medical, I did have to pick up something from the pharmacy, so that ended up being $7.73 that I spent out of the $25 that I had budgeted, which means that I had $17.27 left over from that. So we are going to add that up to our current total and get a new total, $548.16. Last category for my spending in the month of March is savings. And I actually did spend some money from the savings category. Normally I'm just saving money and I don't usually spend much from here, but I did do a little bit of traveling. And then I had some other expenses. So for Christmas, we obviously didn't spend any money there. We're still saving up for that. It's bringing over that $75, adding that to the $150 that we had now gives us $225 saved up for Christmas. Now for travel, I have some of my travel expenses hit my account in March, but even though I traveled in March, some of those expenses are going to hit my bank account in April. So this is just a very small portion of what I spent when I traveled, $88.30. And this was split up between like 5 different things that I ended up paying for. That was like eating out. As we were traveling, I had to eat out every day. I might have went to a coffee shop and picked up something there. So things like that. That's what this kind of totals out to be. And then my actual travel expenses, like getting places and things like that, that amount will come out next month. It was actually under the $100 that I had budgeted, which leaves me with $11.70. And my new total is $1,611.70. I did not buy a bike in the month of March, so we are going to move over the $50 and add that to this amount, which gives us a total of $720 to purchase a bike. The shed, we did not buy a shed yet. We are still very far away from being able to afford that. So yeah, putting that $100 towards the amount that we already have saved up gives us a total of $300 so far. The other category, I had budgeted $113, and I always feel like I do this. There's always at least a couple of months in the year where I don't realize that there are certain expenses that I need to pay for that happen every year. So I did go over budget quite a bit. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different type of purchases that kind of went into how much I spent here. So I ended up spending $135.26 of other type of things that don't fit into any of the other categories that I have here. Part of that was taxes, like owing money for taxes. That means that I am a negative in this category, $22.26 for the month. Luckily, I do have some money that I had accumulated previously, so we are going to subtract the $22.26 from what we had, which then gives us a new total of $452.36. So that is what I had spent this past month in the month of March. Those were my spending. I did have some negative categories, but I also had some categories that I did okay in. So there's that. Let's move into April. We are going to zoom in and start up here for our irregular expenses. So for gas, as you saw in March, I did end up spending more than I had budgeted for. I had budgeted $60 previously and I spent over that. So I am going to up this budget so that I'm not always behind on my gas amount that I'm going to be spending each month. So I am going to raise this one, and our new budget for gas is going to be $75. Groceries, I am going to keep it at the regular $200 that I normally do. And then sliding down into the spending for entertainment, I am still going to set aside $10. I almost didn't do any money for the entertainment this month. If it continues that I have higher expenses, I may end up cutting that out at some point. For clothing, I stuck to $50 because I just need some clothes. I just need to go and get some clothing. It just needs to happen. But this was another one that I considered maybe lowering just because I already have some money accumulated for that one as well. For beauty, I am keeping $50 because there are some things that I actually need, like toner and things like that. So I do foresee myself spending a little bit of money on beauty products this coming month. For decor, I am also going to budget $50. There are some items that I already know that we're going to be purchasing. I'm hoping that covers it. Furniture, we're going to keep at $100 because I am trying to build up the amount that I have saved so that I can get to how much the couch actually costs. Eating out, I am going to keep at $60. I am not going to raise that budget even though I spent more. I really would like to try very hard to keep it to $60. We'll see how we do. For gifts, I'm only doing $25 because I don't foresee any new things that I'm going to need gifts for, but there were the few things that I thought I was going to be doing gifts for last month that I might do in April instead. But because I have already accumulated some money here, I think that that's okay. This is one of the categories that I did lower because I had to, but I think that's totally fine. For YouTube, I am setting aside another $50 for April. There are some things that I would like to get, but I might have to build this up a little bit more in order to do that. Moving into sinking funds, like I had mentioned before, I did have some unexpected car maintenance that came up, so we are going to budget $100 because I know that I've already spent some of that. And then for home fixes, we are also going to do $100. I really just want to build up this amount here. For medical, I am setting aside $50. If I can write here, that is a really funny looking 50, but that says 50. Last category we are going to do budgeting for in April is the savings. For Christmas, we are going to stick with the 75. And then for travel, like I said, I have some expenses for sure. So I am going to keep that at 100 for now. And then for the bike, I am going to budget $50 for the bike as well. Then we have the shed. So I'm going to be putting aside $100 to eventually purchase a shed and build this up quite a bit. And then other is the remaining amount that I had left over after putting budgets in every category that I would possibly spend. The other amount that I am budgeting or putting aside is $131 for the month of April. I already know that I will be spending some of this money, and so I'm glad that it's more than what it was last month. I don't know if it's enough, but that's okay. That's why we have this amount saved up. So that is it for my April budget. That's kind of what I'm thinking, and hopefully I can stick to this budget this month and do better than what I did last month. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Let me know if you do any budget videos yourself, or if you don't, how is your budgeting going? What kind of budgeting method do you use? Leave a comment down below. Let us know how it's going for you. This is how I've been doing it and how it's going for me so far. You know, some months are better than others, and that's just how it is. And I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful, beautiful rest of your day. Bye.